Hey guys, Melissa Dunn here with the Melissa Dunn Realty team in Keller Williams. I am coming to you from my mobile office, aka my car today. We are joined today with Brandon Hearn with Integrity Mortgage. Brandon is going to bring us our Mortgage Monday update. Brandon, how are you?
I'm doing good. Good morning. It's we have a lot to talk about today. It was a busy week last week.
It was a busy week. Well, let me make you host real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you. The first question that I have is what did rates do last week?
Well, I got some good news and some bad news. So let's talk about what they did. Here are the facts, just like normal. I pull up the FreddieMac.com /PMMS, goes right to the data. Last week rates went up a little bit. So the average from last week was 6.8%. Well, why did that happen? We all watched the news. We all saw the Federal Reserve met last week, and they said no rate hike, no rate decrease. But they're still going to lower it three more times this year. So why did we see the average pick up last week? Well, because before that we saw a dip. And then as we lead to up to the meeting, investors are like, hey, we're a couple days away. Let's hedge our risk here. Let's raise rates a little bit. So since then, what's happened this week is we're already starting to see that come off a little bit. So the average last week, 6.8. I bet you when we talk next, the average will be 6.6, 6.7. So we'll see that back off a little bit.
Cool. So you're thinking that they're going to go down just a little bit next week. Is that correct?
I do. I think that's where we're headed.
Yay. Okay. All right. So how does this affect the mortgage and home outlook for our buyers and sellers?
Well, let's talk a little bit more about rates really quick. So the Feds don't meet again until April 30th, May 1st. So what we're going to see, there's going to be no big policy changes, other than we have an optimistic outlook, and they were very clear that they still plan on dropping it three more times this year. So as we start talking about home prices, this home scenario that we're going to bring up, we always want to remember that the outlook is optimistic. So they're still telling us very clearly they're going to drop rates. So they're signaling to our economy, to our home buyers and sellers as a whole, hey, still do business. The world's not going to end. We're going to be okay. But later on in the year, when we do drop rates, we're going to see things go multiple offer, a lot more
Mhm.
buyers, right? So anytime rates go down, there's more available, there's more demand. Supply is kind of held equal, so that means prices will go up. So it's still a wonderful time to buy. It's also still a wonderful time to sell if you're a seller because there's a lot of changes in the real estate industry that selling now is just one less thing you got to worry about. So scenario, you ready for that?
Yeah, yeah, let's do it. So we have a listing, guys, coming up in Allen. It's a super cute property. It is located at 1508 Evergreen. It's a really cute three bedroom, two baths. It's got two living areas. It's on a corner lot. So we're pumped about this one hitting the market. It's probably going to be priced around 360. So that is what Brandon has based all of our scenarios on.
Yeah, so this is awesome. And this is why I think it's a great time, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, or you're looking to a home for the first time. 360,000 is a great price point. So with 5% down, 720 FICO, and if we just use the average rate we just talked about of 6.8, that's a principal and interest of $2,284. Okay, 2284. So a lot of these apartment complexes are charging almost that exact same amount for a
Mhm.
two-bedroom apartment. So let's kind of again, let's give some perspective here. So let's say the rates dropped and that sales price now became 370. Um, that monthly payment, just $10,000 more for a purchasing price is about $64 a month more. So
Okay.
if you can pick it up at a lower sales price at 360 instead of 370, you'll save $64 a month. So that payment's about 2,348. Again, we see more buyers hit the market because rates, maybe they dropped the rates. Now we're at 380. That's $127 more per month, right? So all
Okay.
else out equal, $2,411. So in order for that payment to be the same, the rate would have to go from 6.8 all the way down to 6.2, which we just looked at the graph. It's pretty unlikely that's going to happen in the next 90 days. So if you think about it, if the feds come out in May and say, hey, we're going to drop the rates. And that just increases the pool of buyers by 10 to 20%, a small amount. It's very likely we see that sales price go from 360 to 370
Yeah.
or 380,
We start
which is real
entering
money,
multiple offers. Yeah.
which is real money. So if you're a buyer, it's still a really great time to buy. It's a strong market. And you're able to go out there and get something on at a lower price point than you would if you waited 90 days.
Yeah, and I'll share also. So I am running into, we're entering the spring season, so I am running into some multiple offer situations. However, we still have the ability, even if we aren't going crazy competing on price, we can make offers so much more attractive. Like with Brandon, we can do a 10 business day close. Like we can close very quickly. That makes you as competitive as we can possibly get you to a cash buyer. And some of those things translate, and sometimes convenience is more important for a seller than maybe their net. And so we can utilize those things when we do get into multiple offer situations. And another thing I would mention right now, what I'm experiencing is it's a slightly more balanced market in that it's still definitely sellers. It's on paper we're a seller's market. However, sellers are much more understanding of reasonable repair request. Homes are more likely to be turnkey whenever you're ready to take them on. So I think that's something to keep in mind also, is that we're able to get you, it's not a crazy sales price, and we can get you a better home in today's market, I think.
I see that too on my end. That's awesome. That's
Yay.
awesome. All right, I got a
Awesome.
pro tip for
So
you.
yes, let's hear it.
Man, we've all heard this before, right? Devil's in the details. What does that mean? Hey, you got to read. You got to read very carefully what you sign before you sign it. In the lending world, I get it all the time. People tell me, "Hey, I want to shop this. I want to shop that. I want to shop this." And a lot of times, this sounds crazy, but they'll take someone's word for it. They'll say, "Hey, Melissa, what are the rates?" And Melissa goes, "Oh, the rates are this." They say, "Okay," and that's how they shop. That's not going to do it. What you really
Mm-hmm.
want, the piece of paper that you want is called a loan estimate or an LE. It's a 3-page document that is very clear and transparent on rates, fees, terms, whatever that may be, that spells out anything that could be reasonably associated with a home purchase, right? Because when you're shopping, what you really are trying to understand is what is this going to cost me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is my monthly payment? What are my taxes? What are my insurance? What are my closing costs, right? So ask for that. If a lender is hesitant to give you it, that should be a big red flag. It's like, imagine going to a grocery store and there are no price on the shelf and you grab something and you went to an associate and you said, "Hey, what's this cost?" And they say, "Well, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you until you get to the checkout." Like that's not how we do business, right?
Guessing. Yeah.
Yeah, so ask for a loan estimate. If they're hesitant to give it to you, that's a big red flag. Look at those numbers. Are they, did the lender take the time to actually accurately do it, right? So if you're buying a $360,000 house, what do they have for taxes? Is it $100? Is it $200? What is insurance?
Mm-hmm.
And then how do you even know if that's real? I love Google. All you got to do is Google Collin County Appraisal District or Dallas County or whatever county it's in, and you can type the address and it'll tell you. You can also look at those unexempt taxes in the portal that you set them up with. So there's other resources too. Call your insurance company, start looking at those numbers, ask questions. And if it still seems a little too much because maybe some of those terms don't make sense to you, you can always call me or you just send it to your trusted realtor. Say, "Hey, Melissa, can you take a look at what I sent you? What does this mean?" Um, and she can help you out. I can help you out. Anyone can help you out. But don't just take someone's word for it. You're buying something that's 6 figures. You
Mm-hmm.
really need the details ahead of time, and you want someone that's going to take the time to help you budget through that so that you're not surprised last minute.
Awesome. Totally agree. As the youth call it, we don't want any sus loan estimates.
Yeah, no sus,
The youth,
no TikTok estimates, right?
no TikTok, no sus. All right, Brandon. Well, thank you so much. We are so appreciative to you guys. As always, if you need any assistance with buying, selling, or investing, please reach out to your girl, Melissa. And if you're looking at getting pre approved, maybe doing a refinance, or you have other questions about lending, I would hope that you would reach out to our wonderful partner, Brandon Hearn at Integrity Mortgage. We'll put everyone's phone numbers at the bottom. All right. We'll talk to you later, Brandon. We'll see you next week.
Right.
Bye.